Who could it have been?
It's the guy that sent the death warning to Mary. It's the volunteer fireman that tried to drop the bucket on us. It's the ghost we've been chasing ever since we left New York, and he's right here in this castle.
What's the matter, boss?
Why do you let me babble on like this? Suppose he's listening. Suppose he knows I know.
Suppose we get out of here.
It's a nice day, isn't it? The air's nice. And there seems to be an abundance of it. Say, look, would you mind very much if I tear myself away from you? I want you to look at this project. This history of music is a voyage, a long, hard, tedious voyage. And when the Foundation first launched its vessel, they wisely followed an old rule of the sea. No women aboard. Consequently, they chose a crew of single men with nothing to distract them from the course.
On the inside.
Afraid. I've got nobody to help me if you won't help me. Be generous, Mr. Spade. You're brave. You're strong. You can spare me some of that courage and strength, surely. Help me, Mr. Spade. I need help so badly. I've no right to ask you. I know I haven't, but I do ask you. Help me.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was staring at you, wasn't I? I didn't mean to, really. It's only because you look so much like my father. When he was younger, of course, your age. A most remarkable resemblance.
Pretty soon Lefty just touched the trigger a little, and the gun went like that. The rat fell out of his chair dead, and we drove off and left him there. Yeah, the gun just went.
Would you be good enough to say the word no? Just no. 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 No, 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 no! No? Okay, forget it. Thank you for your patience. You were most kind. I think I'll get drunk.
Oh, don't feel sorry for him. He was a very lucky man. All his dreams were fulfilled, I assure you. He found oblivion in my arms, till my time for loving him was over. Then, one night, my name upon his lips, he died.
I don't know very much about him, really. Mother met him at grandfather's in New York. Oh, he did tell a lot of stories. I didn't pay attention. He went to sea as a boy, and he was in California for the gold rush. He sailed all over the world. He lived on a South Sea island once.
And Buckingham, that swine, I am what I am. And I've no concern with your silly rights and wrongs. But heaven, may I not have pride. Must I die at the end of an English rope?
Well, I really wouldn't care to scratch your surface, Mr. Crowley, because I know exactly what I'd find. Instead of a heart, a handbag. Instead of a soul, a suitcase. And instead of an intellect, a cigarette lighter, which doesn't work.
No, no, Madonna Camilla. You must not kneel. Such love is indeed rare, and I respect it. What you ask is not impossible. All will come right in the end. I promise.
Timetable. May I read it to you? 5 a.m. to 7 a.m. Algebra with the mathematical sister. 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. Religion, especially Christianity, with the scriptural sister. 10 a.m. Art. 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. French and Russian with the French and Russian sisters, if any. 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. Physics with the physical sister.
My patients invariably regard me as a wretched nuisance during our first talks.
I see.
Exactly. It wants to continue enjoying your disease. Our job is to make you understand why. When you know why you're doing something that's bad for you, and when you first started doing it, well, then you can begin curing yourself.
You bet. Because you set me back a bit. But I'll put it over. It's the only thing my father left when he died. It was my one possession, he said. A worthwhile job to do, it's yours. consider yourself rich.
Don't feel you can help me. You're very wise, you know a great deal. Yet when you speak of the soul, you mean the mind. And it is not my mind that is troubled.
What a clever girl.
Some presumptuous of me, doesn't it? Goodbye, Doctor.
Therefore, we will begin by learning a song or two, or a sentence or two, which will express English feeling. For instance, this one. It's an old proverb. If a man break faith with me, shame on him.
I'm all right. It's just I've been under such a strain, and now this. But she's free now, poor darling. And I have a right to some peace, too.
But I know she did. I believed her at first. I kept on believing her for a long time. But now I know she did it.
Hello, Mr. Bent? This is Mr. O'Neill's secretary. No, Mr. Danny O'Neill, the orchestra leader. I read in the paper that you're planning a Halloween dance. Bob Harvey's Cornell Clippers. Oh, but we entertain, too. Do we entertain? Oh, our entertainment's terrific. That's our strong point. Mr. Bent, until you've seen the perennials, you haven't lived.
So I've been turned in, eh? All right. You got me. I suppose you and my stool pigeon brother will split them. Think my aunts are sweet, charming old ladies, don't you? Well, there's 13 bodies buried in the cellar.
Valpolicella, it's called. The first vineyard you see when you come down the other side of the Alps. And the Italians say it's such a good wine because the grapes have their roots in the valley and their eyes on the mountains.
Please.
Please what?
A princess always knows she's a princess.
Well, you don't. Look. Beth has just left the stage with her kettle full of simmering toads. You are locked in the tower. Suddenly and unexpectedly, Hugo the villain enters. You cry out in horror, Rodrigo, Rodrigo, save me, and faint. Then Rodrigo may enter.
Why, you pig-headed, obstinate, opinionated hothead. If you had as much sense as you have, obviously I'm boring you, Lieutenant. Oh, I hope I never see you again, because if I do, I'll drown you.
Oh, this is a windfall. Lady Margaret, eh? A sea rat. A bit of ocean scum doing His Majesty's dirty work. Killing Spaniards to make room for fat Englishmen and their nasty daughters. Waring is my name, but those who love me call me Jamie Boy.
You have to tell me. Not a million other people, but you have to tell me that I'm not a coward and that you don't hate me. That's the medal I want to win in this war.
I'll never forget. With all my strength, I'll fight. Love is stronger than witchcraft. I'll remember everything. The sound of your voice, your worried looks, the warmth of your arms around me, the touch of your lips.
I have to keep talking, Johnny. As long as I have my arms around you, I have to keep talking. I might forget to dance, Johnny.
What do you think you're trying to do?
I'm not even trying very hard, but I'm doing it. No, I never loved you, Walter, not you or anybody else. I'm rotten to the heart. I used you just as you said. That's all you ever meant to me. Until a minute ago, when I couldn't fire that second shot.
Not what you were going through. If I'd been really close to you, you could have confided in me. But you were afraid to, you were ashamed to come to me. Oh, if I'd only understood. Oh, Johnny. But it'll be different now. We'll make it different.
You think a squealer can get away from me? Huh? You know what I do to squealers? I let them have it in the belly. So they can roll around for a long time thinking it over.
Look into my eyes.
If I ever meant anything to you, and I believe I did, then help me, Paula. Give me another chance. Look, in the drawer of that cupboard over there is a knife. Get it and cut me free.
Sagt der Leben, ein Tomenia bis ein Straf, ein der Blitzen sagt der Klutz, ich bleib noch straff mit der Ballone. Ballone was ein Stritz mit seinen Eltern.
When you pray, think. Think well what you're saying. Make your thoughts into things that are solid. And that way your prayer will have strength. And that strength will become a part of you, body, mind, and spirit.
Back of it all, Joe, a chap's got to be honest. Never thee forget it all thy entire life. And there's a funny thing about honesty. There's no two ways about it. There's only one way about it. Honest is honest. Do you see?
There's no such thing as a good influence, Mr. Gray. All influence is immoral.
Why? Because the aim of life is self-development. To realize one's nature perfectly. That's what we're here for. A man should live out his life fully and completely. Give form to every feeling, expression to every thought.
That's what makes us tough. Rich fellas come up and they die, and their kids ain't no good and they die out. But we keep a-comin'. We're the people that live. They can't wipe us out, they can't lick us. We'll go on forever, Pa, 'cause we're the people.
Uncle trusted him implicitly. And still, he treats me like a child. Tells me not to worry. Says that he's handling things. And all the time I feel as though I'm being watched. And he's been so sweet and kind ever since
Inside my bottle for the first 1,000 years, I swore that I'd enrich the one that freed me with all the riches of the earth. But in the second 1,000 years, my imprisoned spirit turned to vengeance on all that lived and were free. And I swore that I'd kill him that freed me to satisfy that hate. Are you ready?
It's worth a man's life, Watson. I think we'd better pay a visit to Gaylord's auction room and that fellow Crabtree. Inspector, may I suggest that you make a complete search of this flat for a small, plain, musical box about that size. Thank you. Come on, Watson. You say the first box...
Only once they said if anything happened to them, I mustn't be unhappy. Because they were doing what they wanted to do. And if anything happened, it would happen to them both at the same time, the way they want.
Well, as a matter of fact, you're simply bluffing. If you can get 10,000 from the police, why would you be satisfied with 5,000 from me? What if I told you to just get out of here and go whistle for it?
I think you're just playing hard to get along with. Maybe a little security might help. These were given to me. Why don't you keep them until I've made good? Maybe they'll make you feel better. They're mother of pearl, you see.
Favor, my decision would be reversed by a court of appeals. Now, if there's injustice in the law, that's a matter for Congress in Washington, not for this court. In accordance with the law, the lands here in dispute.
Senator, I know you mean well for me. You've always been generous to us. Maybe Lute and I'd be closer to what you wanted us to be if you hadn't been so generous. Well, I'd like one McCandless to give something to this state, not just take from it. Good night, sir.
Do it. I've found something in these keys worth fighting for. Nights on watch, I'll see you like this, Loxy. With your hair catching fire in the sunset. And that look in your eyes.
10 fathoms deep.
Blessed Mother, send someone to take me from this dreary place. Someone I can love and respect. Let him be kind and brave and handsome, please, dear Mother.
It isn't Ralph. This diamond studded white, looking down her nose at me like a big ugly house up there looks down on Hollywood. Please, I'm just not going. Slow down, find a place to turn.
Oh, Jane, you're crazy. Alice likes you.
Please, Alan, I mean it. I'm just not going.
Well, what do you know? What do you know about that? How do you like that, sailor? Leave a place when you're a kid, maybe 17, 18 years ago, and you forget all about it, and all of a sudden you're driving along and smacko, your own hometown up and hits you right in the face.
Switzerland, who sent them on to Berlin, Germany.
That's nothing.
Nothing, is it? Wait till you hear how they done it. To read their messages, you wouldn't suspect anything, see? A lot of mush. The fellas in the War Office that opens them thinks they're nothing but love letters, do you see? But they have a code.
Right to share it? Let it leave a mark on both of us, Philip Marshall. Because I don't intend to let you go again.
Mary.
Don't you see that this sort of persecution will come to an end? And we'll look back and we'll wonder why we ever let it bother us. Believe me.
Together. You look tired. Why don't you stay here a while and rest? Listen to the sea. So soothing. Listen to it.
The village. Oh, we must get back there. They need help. Carol, what is it? Carol, are you hurt? Darling.
How would you like to kiss me in the moonlight? How would you like to hold me in your arms? When your arms are so inviting, how can you keep from turning on your charms? Wouldn't you like my head upon your shoulder?
We boarded the boat for St. Sebastian. It was all just as I'd imagined it. I looked at those great glowing stars. I felt the warm wind on my cheek. I breathed deep, and every bit of me inside myself said, how beautiful.
It puts poise in apathetic people, if you know what I mean. And after the second, when your spine turns to solid platinum, you take 1 part brandy and 2 parts rye.
Same means cooled and warmed by the same winter and summer. If you prick us, do we not bleed? If you tickle us, do we not laugh? If you poison us, do we not die? If you wrong us, shall we not revenge?
Well, it happened about 3 years ago in Connecticut. Mother has a place there, you know. We were going to have chickens, so we walked over to the farm. It was a lovely Sunday morning in late spring. Across the valley, the church bells were ringing, and in the yard, Philip was doing likewise to the necks of 2 or 3 chickens.
Oh, dear.
Well, everything's all set, babe. The license comes through this afternoon. I got a justice of the peace all lined up. Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out, how to get you here. No, I don't want you to take a train. It'd spot you like a lead dime. They'll be watching everything. Holland Tunnel, Washington Bridge. I don't even trust
love the North Cape, the fjords in the midnight sun. Sail across the reef at Barbados, where the blue water turns to green. To the Falklands, where a southerly gale rips the whole sea white. What we miss, Lucia.
Believe me, I don't want anybody to tell you how to make me happy. The greatest gift you could bring me is to be just as you are. I'm not employed here. I'm not a book salesman. I took one look at you and followed you into the store. If you'd walked into a restaurant, I would have become a waiter. If you'd walked into a burning building, I would have become a fireman. If you'd walked into an I would have stopped between 2 floors and we'd have spent the rest of our lives. You are my soul. You're my heart. My grief
My joy, my counterpart. You are my dream, my reality, my life's mirror.
You don't have to say anything and you don't have to do anything. Not a thing. Oh, maybe just whistle. You know how to whistle, don't you, Steve? You just put your lips together and blow.
If I were to follow you for the rest of my life, I should wish to be a great woman. But there's another way I must take, and it means more to me than my career. If Cleve will only read what is in my heart, he will know and be there waiting.
Oh, well, that's awfully sweet of you, Sam. There's an old friend of yours here, George Bailey.
You mean old Mossback George?
Yes, old Mossback George.
Yeehaw, put him on.
Well, just a minute. I'll call him George.
He doesn't want to speak to George, you idiot.
I don't know whether I can make it. You see, I have a rehearsal in the morning, and I don't know for how long. Then I promised Mabel from there I'd go to Brooklyn with her to see the Dodgers play.
I've been told when you wink that a girlish chick gets pink. I've been told if you cry, you would make a lot of girlies cry. I've been told from the start, so I guess that I'm not smart. But oh, you kid, you lovey-dovey kid, my heart is going ting-a-ling. If you like chicken, grab a wing. Ooh, you kid.
I'm ready for anything. Is the gravy made? Now you're humming that waltz. Whatever you do, please don't hum that tune anymore. I've just got it out of my head and I don't want to get it started again. Please remember, don't hum that tune. And don't keep getting up every few minutes. You just sit there and be a real lady.